Okay, for the most part, everybody did a lot of stuff today outside of Dejon Harris. Torrin Harris was even able to do some things today. So we have anticipation that possibly everybody could be playing Saturday, which is obviously good for us. We'll continue to push them throughout the week and see if we can be at full strength.
Does that include Torrin?
There is a potential that, yeah. Torrin went today and did some things, and so we'll continue to test him each day. And that would be a big pick-me-up for us, obviously, with our lack of depth at cornerback.
Any reaction to news going out of Penn State that this is going to be the turnout last season?
Yeah, I really don't know very much except for what Tim just told me about it. Obviously sounds like a horrible situation for that's really all I know.
What was your opinion of him as a coach?
I didn't know him personally. Obviously, an unbelievable record, and to do it for that many years. Did a lot of neat things, but I think that's really irrelevant today.
Is Curtis McNeil going to start at running back?
Most likely Curtis will start, yes, and we look for Mark to play as well.
What do you have about his safeties and Drew and what your kind of mentality is in not starting him this week?
Well, Drew did some good things in the game. Prior to injury, Juwanzo was playing very well, playing some of his best ball since he's been here. And then TJ's been playing at a real high level, so we've been playing Drew the last couple weeks anyway. And so we'll continue to make sure that we're getting him in there.
What's your philosophy on calling kids by their number?
We really don't have one. I don't really know how that happened. It just did for some reason, and it kind of took some legs within the receiver group.
It seems like Nikel is, this week, is maybe it's every week, but he seems like he just has boundless energy out here. Is that just the way he is? Is he sort of gained a lot of confidence over the season, and maybe we're kind of seeing that?
Well, really, that's who he is since the first day that I ever met him. When he came out of our campus at Tennessee and was there for a couple days for a camp. And first in every line, first in every drill, wanted extra work. We're staying after with my dad, getting DB work, in between sessions at camp. And so that's really what makes him special outside of his ability. Is that he's so dedicated to being great. And this week's even more special for him. He's come out, and this weekend will be his mother's birthday. Would have been his mother's birthday, and so a bunch of his family will be out here to celebrate that. And so it's even more special for him this week, and he wants to make some big plays.
What do you do to limit their defensive tackle, Almeida Tama?
Well, we've got to run some wide zone, which in our system means that we cut him down, which is all legal. And so we've got to make sure that we do that so that he's got to be getting up and down off the ground all day long. And whenever you play dominant defensive tackles like that, that's usually the plan that we go to.
Khaled was saying he's bigger than Patterson and Cody, some of the guys that have been through. Is he a penetrating defensive tackle, or is he more of a space eater?
He can do both. He can be powerful at times, but then he can be quick off the ball too. And so it's caused people a lot of problems over the last couple of years. And we'll have a good plan for him. Hopefully, we'll be able to maintain him.
And you've talked about depth making a difference in these fourth quarter 2-minute drill situations or whatever. But how did the sort of those hard lessons that you guys went through last year affect things or help the defensive guys, get through those situations better this year?
Well, I think first off, it was a study of just seeing something not work. And so really as we were going through the year, especially after this game a year ago, and even if you go back to the Virginia game, where we were struggling at the end of that game early in last year, we started noticing the Stanford game. We just started to notice that it's not working. Playing our guys every snap, especially in our front seven, was not working because we just weren't productive in the fourth quarter. And so this year, we've rotated guys in earlier in the game, regardless of the score, so that we'd be fresher in the fourth quarter. And I think in general we're in better shape in our second year. We condition after practice, 2 times a week, which we've never done here before. And so I think all that has helped.
How has your defense improved now from the start of the season?
Tackling, I think really getting more comfortable in the system, but they're tackling better. Not as many missed tackles. Since the Arizona State game, we've done a pretty good job of that.
And you said that you guys had to kind of change your game plan around Vontez Perfect. What are you looking at with Court Dennison?
Well, you know where he is. They don't move him around very much as a true middle linebacker in their system, and so it really doesn't affect you very much because he lines up in one spot. Vontez, they move around a little bit more, and he blitzes more. So we're just going to have to know our assignments, but deal with their multiple fronts, to make sure that we know what our assignments are and where he's coming from.
Do you regret bringing
I don't like where this is starting.
George Farmer out of the red shirt because he barely played those first 2 games. Now he's been hurt 2 games, and there's only 3 games left.
Not at all. You know, that goes back to seeing once he got comfortable, once he got healthy, whatever that was a month ago, you know, we saw what he could be. And really, as we looked at it, I just don't think that 5 years from now he would be here anyway. And so to redshirt him and then 4 years of eligibility and thinking he'd be here in that 5th year probably wouldn't happen. And so, no, I don't regret it. And even though his stats weren't big, he made some big plays for us on special teams. He's going to help us these last 3 weeks too. And he'll be better off for it next year, having the experience.
You said he'd prefer to play receiver. Does that have any role in your decision to keep him, to put him where he is going to be long term?
No, he'll always give us the ability to do both with him, which is very unique, especially for a big tailback to be able to do that. So if we can, you know, get him comfortable in our system, especially after the spring coming up, you know, he'll be a big-time matchup issue for people because he can play tailback and receiver. You know, it'll be 220 pounds.
You said a couple weeks ago you and Stanford are kind of like a dying breed offensively. Is that kind of forcing you to change things like more shotgun or amend what you think you got to do?
No, I don't think we need to change at all. Just because I was saying it's a dying breed, just in general around the country it is, that doesn't mean we're going to change. We've gone to a little more shotgun based off of the inexperience in our offensive line. Nothing to do with needing to change the system. We'll eventually, when we get our roster right, we'll eventually, you know, be like we were before, and you know, we won't change what we're doing.
What does Chris Polk present for you guys as running back?
Yeah, hard to bring down. A bunch of missed tackles before last week. Oregon did a great job of tackling him. Before that, people were missing him. He's big and physical, and then he's really good in the passing game too. You know, so he really is kind of a complete package.
The fact that you have to do more gang tackling and swarming, does that kind of affect you know, the defensive calls in terms of how you get, you know, guys lined up and moving at the start of the play?
No, because they, you know, different than Stanford, these guys are going to spread you out, and so you know you can't put too many people up there. They're going to spread you out, and their receivers are dangerous. You know, especially now with the true freshmen coming along, and Williams. So they've kind of got everything. They've got the tailback, they've got the quarterback playing at a high level, they got 3 tight ends, and they got 3 receivers.
Fun or agonizing playing soccer?
Oh, I don't. Probably neither. You know, it's just that doesn't have anything to do with the game. It's about, you know, our players playing well, and really nothing different goes into it.
Okay.